my channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie and you're watching. Hey, it's May. I'm ready. May is my favorite month out of the entire year because it's my birthday month. But seriously, it's just the perfect time of the year in my opinion. It's the time where it's getting warmer, things are starting to blossom, people are getting more active. There's a change of the season. It's a time and opportunity to learn from whatever mistakes we made over the past 4 months and to move towards a better future. So I absolutely love May, and also thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I had an amazing birthday despite quarantine, and a big part of that is because of all of you. So thank you so much for making my birthday special. I know you're still like, okay, Jessie, you have not even uploaded the wrap up for April's Jessie's Deck of TBR. Look, I have not uploaded a wrap up
at all this year.
And I know that y'all are really waiting for my opinions on certain books in particular. So I finally just decided to make a giant wrap up of every book that I have read from January all the way to April. And lucky for you, I've already filmed it, so it's definitely gonna happen. It's filmed, and in this wrap up, I have also included the skit that I promised y'all from last month, and that wrap up is also going to include the actual wrapping book review that I promised you. So yes, I'm just really excited. And if you are new here, if this is your first Jessie's Deck of TBR video, this is a custom card game that I created as a way to help me creatively and excitedly pick my TBR for the month. Basically, what I do every month is I take my special dice, I roll the dice, and that tells me how many cards I have to pick from this tin. Now, if on my first roll, I roll a number that's pretty high and I'm just not feeling prepared to read a high number of books that month, then I can give myself a second roll.
However,
I do have to abide by whatever the second roll is. So if the second roll is higher than the first roll, then I'm SOL and I have to read a lot of books. Now, before we get into playing this game, I have to give you an update, a much promised update on the sale of these cards. When I launched these cards, so many of you, a positively overwhelming amount of you were like, okay, so when can I buy a deck from you? And I said that the decks would be ready by June 1st and that you could pre-order them and you would have them probably by the end of June. And then COVID-19 happened. So I've had a bunch of questions about whether or not the deck is going to be ready by June, and the simple answer to that question is
hell no.
You can literally thank the coronavirus for why this deck will not be ready in June. So that's the bad news. But I got some good news for you too. Because of the fact that I am staying at home and haven't been able to work like normal, it gave me time to really think about how to make these cards incredible. And originally, I didn't tell y'all about this, but originally I was going to hire a professional graphic designer to design a set of cards. I was gonna pay for the graphic designer's services out of my own pocket because I really believe in this project and I'm just so excited. But then I lost my job and I wasn't able to make that happen because it's going to cost thousands of dollars to get the designs for these cards made. And I then realized that even if I did manage to pay a graphic designer for their labor, I still have to think about production costs because I'm going to be custom making each deck myself. And what that means is the cost of the final deck would have been incredibly expensive. And if I'm gonna do this, I want these cards to be as affordable as possible. I'm not trying to gouge y'all on prices. I want them to be accessible. I want them to be fun. I want this to be a project that you can easily share with your friends and give away as presents. The reason that I'm doing this is because I know a lot of us struggle with reading slumps, and these cards are a really good way to make reading exciting if you're in a slump, or to just switch things up a little bit and challenge you to read more creatively than you would otherwise. Long story short, I got to thinking and I was like, you know what? I think it would be much more meaningful if these cards were designed by somebody in the booktube community, an artist in the community that we know and love. I'm very proud to announce that an artist and I are moving forward and we are starting to design the cards. So after 6 months of waiting, it is finally happening. The ball is going. The ball's going. Getting rolling. The ball has gotten to be roll. What is the freaking expression? What the funk? Get the ball rolling. This artist and I are still working out the details as far as payment goes. Once we get that ironed out, I will be announcing Once we get those details ironed out, I will be announcing who it is. And I've had more than one person reach out and say that they themselves would really be willing to donate to the project, and the donations would be going specifically to pay for the artist's labor. This person and I are still figuring out what those costs are going to be, and then when we get that ironed out, we will then launch a Kickstarter, and if you would like to back this project, you will be able to do so. We can absolutely say with certainty that these cards will be available by December. You will be able to pre-order them and give them as Christmas gifts. You'll be able to have them for the holidays. And the most exciting thing about that is we anticipate that the cards are going to be available much, much, much sooner than December. But to be safe,
we're just saying December.
Plan on end of the year, these cards will be available. I know that that's much more time than y'all wanted to wait, but the plus side is it gives me way more time to perfect the cards and create a game that is worth buying. I want the art for the cards to be absolutely beautiful because I just used copyright images from the internet, which is not only like
illegal,
but also just not as aesthetic as I want, and I want to be able to give y'all the most beautiful cards possible. If you have the capacity, I would love to hear your thoughts on what I just said. Feel free to comment down below. I will be reading the comments and taking everything that you're saying into consideration, and I will give you monthly updates on how this project is going. You're most likely going to see some sample designs, and I really, really want to do little like gift packages for the pre-orders. It's just going to be really, really exciting. I'm super pumped. Now to get into
the actual video.
I'm sorry that that took so long, but I had to answer y'all's questions, you know? Oh, funk, that was so Minnesotan of me. I gotta get out of here. So this month is Asian Pacific Islander month, where we honor people from the Asian diaspora, and this is more important now than ever as people from the Asian diaspora across the globe are experiencing heightened violence against themselves and their businesses due to the blame of the coronavirus falling on them. So it was really important to me that I pick books for this month that are centering those voices. Also, 4% of my reads from last year were Asian-centric stories, which is quite frankly unacceptable. So I'm using this month to make myself accountable for reading with more ethnic diversity, for celebrating Asian identities and becoming more educated. I went out and I purchased 2 books in particular by Asian authors because even though money's really tight for me, I just really knew that I needed to put my money where my mouth was, and I'm really, really glad that I did. So I have a stack over here of books that I'm going to try to get to this month. I'm really hoping that my TBR cards allow that to happen because y'all know that this game is so unpredictable. I have no idea what cards I'm gonna pull. I'm incredibly excited. I want to start by saying the very first book that I am going to be reading in the month of May is Spell Hacker by M.K. English. Spell Hacker is a young adult heist story written by a non-binary author, and we are going to be reading this and Genderqueer by Maya Kobabe for the NB Book Club, which is a book club I run that centers non-binary writers and stories, and every month we read and celebrate those voices. I don't know too much about this book, but I know it revolves around an earthquake which releases some sort of magical plague, and then a group of youths have to band together in order to pull off one last heist. Now it's time to play the actual game. I'm going to start off with my beautiful, luscious purple tray. Purple tray, purple tray. I don't know why you put up with me. I recently gained a bunch of subscribers, which thank you so much for subscribing to my madness, but I feel like after this video, you're all gonna be gone, so.
Love that for me.
Whew. Okay, so I'm gonna tilt so you can see the number on the die. Ignore my messy floor. Can you guys see this? I love how I asked you if you can see it, like y'all can frickin' respond to me in real time. What is wrong with me? Okay, so this is a 5. I don't know if you can see, and this is a 2. So I'm gonna carefully just push this forward so you can see that it's a 5, which means I have to draw 7 cards this month. I don't know if I'm up for 7 cards. Okay. I can do this. I'm motivated. I'm gonna see this as an opportunity to just pack my reading. Fuck. Okay, so now I have to decide if I'm going to roll again to get a smaller number, but that would mean that I could potentially get a higher number and have to read even more books. funk. Okay. I'm gonna go with this rule. I'm going to pull 7 cards from Jesse's deck of TBR. I can do this. I've got this. Okay, but because I'm curious, I want to see what the second roll was gonna be. So let's just see for science. It was a 9. Wait, 6, 7, 8.
I can't do math.
It was an 8. Okay, so good thing I chose 7. All right, now it is time for the event we've all been waiting for.
I have no idea what kind of accent that was supposed to be.
It started Minnesotan and then it devolved into like this really cringy British. So I'm just going to be shuffling. Oh my God. And 7. Okay, I've got to pull 7 cards. I need to stop doing that voice. Oh my God. Doot, 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 doot. We're gonna go 1, 2. Let's go 3. Let's go 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right. Put these back in the deck. And if there is a card in here that I can't complete because of the coronavirus, if that card involves me going out in public or going to a certain business or something, I will obviously have to put that card back in the deck and pull another one due to social distancing. Hopefully that won't be an issue, but we will see. These are the cards that will determine my fate for this month. Oh, I'm so scared. Oh, I could do this. This is the Love is Love card. Read a book with a central LGBTQ romance. Oh, we're off to a good start. Okay, so let me look at the books I have chosen, or the books that I want to read. Not queer, 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 not queer. Okay, so an Asian-centric book with a central romance. Oh, and so if you watched my last month's Jesse's Deck of TBR, y'all know that I had a really hard time like sorting through my bookshelves because my books were double stacked. So my project earlier this month was to organize my books so that you could see all of them, and that way it's easier for me to find books off of my shelves. What I did with those extra books that were packed onto my shelf was I actually made a little rainbow along my wall, which like you can't see right now. And that's just gonna make these videos go a lot faster, even though this is probably gonna be the longest of my TBR videos. Oh my God, I have the perfect book. The book that I have chosen is Sunstone by Stephanie Sajik. For those who aren't in the know, Sunstone is a naughty BDSM graphic novel. It's sapphic, it's centering 2 women who are kind of experimenting with what they enjoy in bed, and they meet online and they start this really kinky romance that is just full of drama and pleasure and also self-growth. Sorry, I'm trying to find a picture that I can show you that's not gonna get this video taken down off YouTube. And then this is her, okay, it's appropriate. And then this here is her love interest. And I read volume 1, I still haven't read volume 2, and I think there's 2 more volumes out. So if I have time, I'm going to get through them all. Ooh, I forgot how steamy this book is. Okay, so we're gonna start with Sunstone. I'm like flustered on camera right now. Somebody please spray me with water. Just let me live. I've been quarantined by myself, like.
It's been a while.
Aight. This is the Luna card. Read a book with a talking cat, and this prompt was given to me by Daniela in Prague, so thank you so much for this prompt. A book with a talking cat. This card is actually incredibly perfect, because Neeks just sent me volume 4 of Monstrous for my birthday, and I almost cried. I mean, I might have messed it up a little bit. And we know that Monstrous has a talking cat. It's been a long time since I read volumes 1 through 3, and I don't think I ever finished 3. So I think I'm gonna reread the series because I really wanna get back up to speed and make sure all the details are fresh. But I have Monstrous ready here. This here is volume 1. And if you are not familiar with this book, this is my favorite
favorite
series that is being put out by Image Comics. It is incredible. It is a steampunk fantasy that takes place in a pan-Asian world. It is written and illustrated by Asian women, and it is very, 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 very queer. It is arguably the most imaginative comic that I have read in a very, very long time. It is meticulous and just... Okay, I need to stop and just go into an actual synopsis. Monstrous tells the story of Micah Half-Wolf, who is an Arcana. Arcana are seen as demons that can take human form, but most of them have animalistic features. They have abilities and kind of inhuman strength. But one day, an ancient entity bonds with our protagonist Micah against her will and turns her into the very monster that human beings claim that she is. It is one of the most bloody, gruesome, horrific comics. There's a lot of gore, so do be careful with this one. I absolutely love it because I love that sort of stuff. This is called I'm sorry. I'm so excited, y'all. This is the Take Two card. Read a sequel. I don't think any of these books that I want to read are sequels. None of these are sequels. Okay, so that means I have to find a sequel. Shit, I don't have a lot of those. Okay, let me do some soul searching. Sequel. I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I figured it out. Oh, this is so freaking perfect. It's literally right here. So, I recently read and loved Scythe by Neil Shusterman. And I really, really want to read the sequel, and I have the audiobook for it. I believe it's on Scribd. For those who aren't in the know, Scythe is a young adult science fiction utopian trilogy set in a society that has conquered death and illness. Now, the only way that we can control the population in this world is by designating scythes who are specifically trained in the art of killing. And we are following two protagonists, Citra and Rowan, who are apprentices to be scythes. And when they discover that their society is not as... Okay, my cards fell out of my lap. When they discover that their society is not as utopian as it seems, they have to decide whether they are going to become complicit in that system or destroy it entirely. Oh no. Shit. It was going so well. Fuck. Okay, this is the Get Out card. Read a book about something that scares you. Fuck. Okay, my biggest fears are spiders. I have trypophobia. Nightmares scare me. Death of a loved one scares me. Being killed by police scares me. Someone I love being killed by police also scares me. Oh my God, I found the perfect book. Okay. I've never been so excited to be confronted with a fear before. I'm going to be choosing Recursion by Blake Crouch, which is a very, very beloved science fiction book over on Bookstagram. And the reason that I am choosing this book in particular, I'm sad that it's not by an Asian author. The drama for this book surrounds a detective who is investigating what is called false memory syndrome, a mysterious affliction that drives its victims mad with memories of a life they have never lived. And without getting too personal, that is a specific fear for me because of issues with memory and cognition that I do have. Basically, I really struggle with reality when I'm very symptomatic, and it scares the crap out of me. So something like this would terrify me, and I've really been wanting to read this for a while. It was sent to me by Penguin Random House last year. I'm sorry, this video is so freaking long. Let's just move this right along. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yes, I have been waiting every freaking month for this card. It's like one of my favorites in the deck. I'm sorry, I'm emotional over my own game. What? This is the antagonist card. Choose a book your favorite villain would read. Thank you so much to Sage of Sage Reads, because this prompt was created by them and their inherent genius, so thank you. Gotta make this fast. Okay, my favorite villains. Cersei Lannister, don't at me. The Joker, who else am I favorite? Moriarty, way up there. Hannibal Lecter. The one thing that all of those villains have in common is that they don't have any fantastical abilities, but they are still incredibly powerful. They are cunning, they are ruthless, they are morally corrupt, but also highly intelligent. And they are driven not by creating evil for the sake of evil, except for the Joker, but they're driven by a desire for power and, as a result, safety. You could argue that at the heart of all of those characters, except for the Joker, that what they have in common is that they use power to protect themselves. So I would need to find a book from a protagonist who is hell-bent on protecting themselves and is willing to kill to do so, or protecting somebody else that they really love. Okay, so a evil Hufflepuff, basically. All right, evil Hufflepuffs, go.
Editing Jessie here. For this prompt, I had initially selected The Lovely War by Julie Berry. It wasn't until after I filmed that I realized I actually had the audiobook for The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Each and every one of my favorite villains would be head over heels for The Poppy War because it is all about a young girl named Rin who is a peasant that claws her way out from nothing to attend the most prestigious intellectual and military academy that has ever existed. Her singular driving force is to ensure that she never becomes a peasant again. What drives her and makes her rise to the top ranks within the academy is one thing and one thing only: a deep-seated desire for power.
Second to last one is the When Do We Start card. Start a new series. Sad about how this card got printed because the words were cut off, and this is exactly why I'm going to be so meticulous about the deck, the next deck that I create. So this is a good example of why you have to wait until the end of the year for the game to be available. Start a new series. Let me know down below, for those of you who have read Isola, also by Image Comics, if the protagonist of this book is Asian coded. It seems like they are Asian coded, but I'm not certain. So if you do know, let me know down below. I'm not sure if they're Asian or native. Not that you can't be both. But the book that I'm definitely going to choose is Wicked Fox by Cat Cho, which was everywhere last year. I actually started this book this month and I was shocked. I was shocked that I enjoyed it because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I got a rough relationship with hyped books, like Rough Riders rough. Rough. And I know that there's definitely going to be a sequel and potentially more books. Mi Young is Korean and she is a gumiho, a fox-like creature who feeds off of other people's energy in order to survive. But one day she loses her gumiho soul, which is in the form of a bead, as she's in the process of rescuing a very cute boy who is being attacked in the forest. This is a young adult contemporary fantasy that is set in Seoul, Korea, and I'm loving it so far. I think I'm only like 45 pages in and I'm obsessed. All right, now we are down to our last frickin' card. Let me make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. This is our last card. I have pulled the Cleo card, Read a 5-star prediction. This is a card that I've had in the past, and my 5-star prediction was Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin, the sequel, the conclusion of the Broken Earth trilogy, and my prediction was correct. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars.
Would have rated it higher if I could.
Minor Feelings by Kathy Park Hong is one of the books that I purchased for API month. I also got A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I want to read both of them. I think both of them are going to be 5-star predictions. But I am going to be picking Minor Feelings because I know A Little Life is crazy sad and I'm not ready to be in another depression again yet. This is a memoir that has taken Bookstagram by storm. It is a memoir that talks about the reality of being a Korean immigrant, racialized America, cultural criticism, and history, and it's just supposed to be a really scathing look at the very invisible struggles of Asian folks in America, as well as what it means to have an identity as a Korean and as an American. I'm really, really excited about this. I'm going to end this video abruptly because it is wild long. I have like an hour's worth of footage as of right now. Comment down below with the book that you are the most excited about me reading, or if any of these books were new to you and you're interested in them. But that is gonna do it for this video. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I would absolutely love it if you became a part of my dapper family. All of my social media links are in the description box below. Stay safe, and I can't wait to see you in my next one.